Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again to talk about, I'm going to talk about it finally, meeting Chris Sarandon. Now, I am not saying that he is a bad person to meet. I'm not saying that, for sure what he's like in real life, because it might have just been a bad day. I don't know what happened, but in this series of videos, that's what I'm doing. I'm talking about these experiences that I had meeting these celebrities for these little short periods of time. And if one was bad, then one was bad. There's nothing you can do about it. But wow. Let's get into this one. This might be a little longer one. Okay, so he was the one I was really looking forward to meeting. Because as you know, Fright Night is my favorite movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time. Favorite. 1985, Fright Night. You're so cool, Brewster! Welcome to Fright Night. For real. I love that movie. And I loved Chris Sarandon in that. I loved him in Child's Play. He's in Nightmare Before Christmas, Princess Bride. I was really excited to meet him, and wow. Okay, let's get to it. And you know what? Maybe I'll meet him again sometime. Probably not, because, well, okay, let's get to it. So first off, I'm in line with Safi, and we were behind these weirdos for sure. First off, we go inside this littler room. It's a smaller room than the rest of the convention, and there were all these celebrities packed in there. I feel bad for them that they were so packed together, because it made it a very crowded small room, like your sardines packed together. And I went in, and Caroline Williams is standing right there to the right. Nobody was meeting with her. I should have just met her instead, to be honest. I think she was even dressed up in the same clothes she wore in Texas Chainsaw 2. And she was like talking to herself on her phone. She was so bored, I could tell. And I felt bad. I feel bad now. In hindsight, I should have just met her instead. But anyways, we were in line. We were behind these weirdos. And there were these two very weird people. And, of course, this is Days of the Dead, Chicago, 2016. And in front of us, now, we did not have very many negative experiences at this place. Another one that we had, I'll talk about. In fact, I'll talk about that in this video as well. At the end. I'll just make this the negative video, which I'm sure people love to see when I'm negative, as usual. But, yeah. Anyways, these two women in front of us, they were very weird. One of them kept on turning around and talking to us and just repeating the same sentences over and over and over again. I don't even remember what she was saying. She was repeating some weird stuff, some personal information about her and her friend, and it was really weird. And she looked high. Her friend that she was with looked high. They both had posters they were getting signed. I think they took a picture, whatever. But it was very strange, very weird the way she kept on turning around talking to us. And, she was all strung out. She was her eyes were red. It was very bizarre. It was oh God, what's going to happen next? And anyways, thank God we got to meet Chris Sarandon. They left. They didn't do anything crazy. Because you never know. So we get up to Chris Sarandon. And right off the bat, there's something very unusual about this man. Very unusual, very strange. No, well, it's not that strange. I'm playing it up for dramatic effect. But he had a cast on his left hand, his wrist, and he could not shake your hand, or wait, no, on his right hand. And, I guess he hurt himself. And so, he might have been having a bad day. You never know. And so if he was, then that's cool. Obviously I would just not rate this meeting at all. And I would just say, you know what? Everyone has a bad day. I'm not going to hold it against him for, but, he, I don't know. He was just very robotic and very sort of like just he didn't want to be there. And so maybe it was his first convention, that might have been the problem, in which case, I would understand. Again, I would totally say, you know what, let's just forget about it. It's cool, it's all good, Brewster. Or I mean Jerry Dandridge, that's his character. I'm not saying he's Charlie Brewster, obviously. I mean, that would be really talk about, let's expose Marco. No. Believe me, I know he's not Charlie Brewster. But anyways, I asked him the question. I asked him for advice. And his advice was the strangest advice that I've ever heard, ever. From anyone. Anyone in the film industry, anywhere. I've seen tons of interviews. Tons of weird little, filmmaking is very easy to do, and all you gotta do is just do it, man. Or, filmmaking is technical process, and you gotta learn the lenses and things. I've heard a variety of pieces of advice, and nothing as strange as this. He basically told me to go to a regular college so that I could learn a bunch of other professions aside acting, and that would help me in acting. It would help me portray those parts. So if I learned how to do medicine in college somehow, if I learned how to do medicine and all these other things, I would know how to play those parts, because I'm getting that knowledge, and I'm getting a look into their professions. And now let's break the stupidity down, because I'm already rolling my eyes while I'm recording this video. First off, why would someone spend thousands and thousands of dollars that they don't have so that they could get insight into professions, so that they could act in a movie? Like, wouldn't that be really counterproductive to do that? To get into thousands of dollars in debt just so you could do research about playing parts in movies? I mean, oh my God. Because, like, that's just so, like, to me, I took it as like an insult of, like, telling me that I couldn't be an actor even if I wanted to, and that I should just, fuck off. That's what I took it as. It was a very negative sort of thing. And, it's like another thing is like, let's look at the characters he's played. Jerry Dandridge, did you learn about that part in a college, bro? Did you learn how to be a vampire at University of whatever the fuck? I mean, seriously, he played a vampire in a movie, and you can't learn how to play a vampire, bro. When he played a detective in Child's Play, where did you learn how to be a detective? Did you learn that at university somewhere? Or did you just, play the damn part that's written for you in the fucking script? Seriously. And then, let's get, what else did he play? He played Jack Skellington. How did you do research to play Jack Skellington? That's fucking retarded. And so, that's just totally fucking stupid. I mean, that is some of the dumbest shit that I've ever heard. I was just flabbergasted when I heard that, because it's like, when you're in college, you have to pick a major. You're not going to be able to get all these different professions that people do, like plumbing and dentistry and leatherworking. You're not going to be able to get all that stuff, just handed to you. Like, oh, I want to learn about that, and that. You could just do that all yourself. Just go to the library and read a book about doing that shit. If you need to prepare for a character so much. God. That really pissed me off. And it was just the stupidest advice that I've ever heard. And, there's nothing practical to it. I mean, I could have understood if he had just said the standard, go to film school, son. But he didn't. He said go to a regular college so that you can learn about the professions that people do, so that you can properly portray people doing those professions in movies. And where did that ever help you, sir? Where did that ever help you in your entire film career? Oh my God. It really pissed me off. And that, to top that all off, that wasn't enough. He had someone with him. They all had their little handlers with them for the most part. And he had this handler with them who's this woman, and this random woman, and she added to his advice. She's saying some bullshit about it, just blah, blah, blah. Like, she was adding onto his stupid ass advice. It was basically the polar opposite advice of what Sid Haig told me to do. And so it especially gave me fuel because I just had that encounter with the great Sid Haig. And then I took a picture with Chris Sarandon, and then there was a problem with that. The woman was like having a fit, like, put my bag down. I had a bag with me, and so it was like a big thing, like, put your bag down, you want your bag in the picture? It's like, fuck, I just want to take a picture and leave. In fact, I don't even want a picture anymore. This is fucking stupid. And it's not even that great of a picture. I mean, I don't even want to look at it anymore. In fact, I might not even upload it to this video because it's just not a memory that I like thinking about. And I give this encounter a D-. It is very close to an F. Very, very close. And Safi gave him a D as well. And again, maybe he was just having a bad day. Maybe he was just nervous. I don't know what it was. But you know what? That's not an excuse. I came to this convention to meet him. I came here to Chicago to meet him. I came from another state to meet him. And because it was so terrible, it is a terrible memory. And it is a terrible encounter. So you know what? I do not recommend meeting Chris Sarandon. He's a great actor. He's still Jerry Dandridge in Fright Night. But that encounter was terrible. And it was just the worst. And it really, really painted a bad picture. And it's unfortunate, because I just got through talking about those 3 A+ experiences. And yeah, I wish I had just said, you know what? Don't meet your heroes. And so I'll just go meet Caroline Williams. And I'll listen to her Texas accent, which is awesome, and ask her for advice. I don't need to have that negative, because it's like, okay, if you don't like your fans, if you don't have any good advice, then don't go meet them at conventions, because I really don't appreciate having this negative experience. Just really bad. Safi hated it too. She just kind of, she thought it was very strange, very negative. Yeah, but, he wasn't horrible, I guess. I mean, but, still, it was pretty bad. And so then let's talk about the other negative experience. Now, this is really not an experience at all, but it's really just kind of a rant about the Days of the Dead convention in general. I was scheduled to get a photo op with Tony Todd in the Candyman costume. And we got there an hour early or so. I'd say like 45 minutes until the photo op. And I kid you not, we spent all 45 minutes looking for where to find him. We could not figure out how to get to the photo ops. We spent money on that photo op. I spent money to meet Tony Todd in Candyman costume. And that's so funny. And we're walking around trying to find the photo op. And we could not find it. We asked people. We went up to people. They said this vague answer about, like, it's downstairs. It's somewhere. I don't know. It's downstairs. We could not find the photo op. And so guess what? I missed that photo op. And I wasted that money. Wow, that was really great. That was such a... And it happened in the same day as Chris Sarandon as well. Which didn't make things any worse. And, I'll talk about where the photo op was and how you had to get there. It wasn't even with the convention. It was like, oh my God. It was completely ridiculous where that was. And it was so hard to find. It was so confusing. They should have had a sign that pointed to that direction, because it was in such a strange place where it's like, why would it be there? Terrible. And then we actually saw him. This was the next day. It wasn't the same night as Chris Sarandon. Terrible experience. It was the next day. And what made it even worse was I saw Tony Todd in the convention. I saw him coming up from that photo op. And I saw him going back to his booth, and I just felt completely like, God, that's such a shame that I missed that. And I wasted my money, and, I was supposed to meet Candyman. That really upsets me still to this day, because that's money I'll never get back. And if I ever want to meet him again, I'll have to spend money again, even though it wasn't my fault. I just couldn't find the fucking photo op. I mean, we went around the entire convention. We asked everyone. People walking around, they didn't know. We didn't talk to any guests, obviously, because that would be a waste of time. We talked to the people helping. We talked to the vendors. Nobody knew where this photo ops were. And so, yeah, that really pissed me off. So, yeah, if you like this very negative video, give it a thumbs up. Comment. Tell me about meeting Chris Sarandon. Did you have a negative experience like me? And if so, or what do you think about his shitty advice? Because I'll tell you something. That advice is complete bullshit. And then subscribe to our channel if you want to see more meeting celebrity videos. So goodbye, everybody. See you soon.